Now this week 13,000 children across Australia will become teachers and educate other children about the environment. They'll use dance, rap, drama and poetry to share their ideas of how to bring about positive environmental change.
Some of those involved come from remote parts of Australia and they'll join with their sister schools in capital cities to exchange ideas. It's now in its 15th year. The program is called Kids Teaching Kids and we're joined by its founder, environmentalist Aaron Wood. Aaron, welcome. Tell us a bit about your program.
Good morning. Yeah, it's a huge program. We've got 13,000 kids right across every state and territory in Australia taking part in it. And what it does is it's exactly what the word says. They actually swap roles with their teachers and teach each other. And they do that in such fun and interesting ways that, as you mentioned, it's rap, it's dance, it's poetry. So it's not a boring lecture by an adult, and it's certainly something which inspires others to take action as well.
So Aaron, tell us how this all began.
Well, it began over 15 years ago now, and so it's pretty, proud to be here celebrating our 15th birthday. We started as a very small event up on the River Murray in Mildura there, and we never thought it could grow to what it is today. So that was, as I said, a very small event. Only some 5 schools took part in it. But from there, it's now every state and territory, and it actually, over the years, 80,000 students have taken part in the program. And I think one of the most inspiring things about it is that these kids, although they are young, so we go right down to prep and right up to year 11 and 12, that they really are tackling the issues that our politicians are arguing about in Parliament each and every day. So yes, they're the leaders of tomorrow, but they're also leaders right here and right now.
And Aaron, do the kids learn differently when they're being taught by their peers rather than the teachers?
Yeah, we often have students make the comment that they understand how each other learns, and they do that in fun and interesting ways, but they also enter popular culture. So whether it's the game show of the month, Hot Seat, or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they add in this popular culture element to it. One of the presentations this year actually takes on a Bear Grylls adventure with an environmental twist. So and often the avid ABC News reporter pops up throughout a kid's workshop giving facts and figures. So what we've found is that to teach others is a really high form of learning. So when you look at the retention pyramid, about 5% is retained through lecture, but 90% retention through teaching others. So if we look at those figures, we'd make more room for peer teaching in the curriculum. And also, the other spin-off is obviously their environmental understanding, and we've surveyed our Kids Teaching Kids teachers. 96% of them want to see environment remain as a key learning area in the national curriculum.
And what particular environmental issues are you focusing on, and how receptive and how knowledgeable are the kids about these environmental issues?
Well, they're hugely knowledgeable. I learn something new from every workshop that I look at. One of the students on the Sunshine Coast is looking at shark species, and from that workshop, the figures that they trot out was that a shark can have up to 25,000 teeth over its lifetime. Now, that's not something that you or I would know unless we're an expert on sharks, but these kids really become the mini experts. And as I said, they're dealing with very topical issues as well. So many of the students in Sydney and indeed up in far north Queensland are actually looking at the impact of microplastics in shampoos and exfoliants and what that does in ending up in our waterways. And what I learnt from them was that these microplastics are too small to be picked up by our treatment plants, and they end up in our oceans. They accumulate in our marine life, and they can be pretty toxic to our marine life as well.
So Aaron, what do kids do with this information? How do they continue to learn about the environment?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think Kids Teaching Kids Week, with the 13,000 kids taking part, over 500 schools across the country, but it doesn't stop there. They actually have to present their workshop 5 times in the lead up to Kids Teaching Kids Week in their communities. So they're presenting to local government, to Landcare, to all sorts of organisations, and so what you get is they use their voice to inspire action. So many of these workshops actually result in on-ground projects. One of the great projects in the Murray-Darling Basin one of the kids was presenting on litter up and down the Murray River. He presented that workshop to their local government, and as a result they donated the tip trucks, and they cleared out about 9 tonnes of rubbish from that particular area. So it's really about using that voice to inspire on-ground action and taking a leadership role right here, right now.
And Aaron, as you well know, you're never too old to learn. I guess your hope is that the kids would perhaps be sharing this message with their parents and other adults.
Yeah, we call it Pester Power, and it does do a good job. And with the launch yesterday, we actually had a group of kids travel all the way from Balgo Hills, which is in remote WA. So 2 days just to get to be part of the national launch of Kids Teaching Kids. And these kids are actually going back to their community, teaching them about water use, about how to conserve water. So it's a pretty amazing result, and it's an amazing program to be part of.
Aaron Wood in Melbourne, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks very much for having me.